guys, Lee here, and today I've got for my first YouTube video, Squad Builder, whatever you want to call it, I have decided to build a Korean League team. My decision beyond this was because, you know, I believe whenever I played Ultimate Team, which I don't play a great deal anymore, I just build squads, I found whenever I used to come across a Korean League team, you always used to come up against your all-natural 4-3-3, which was obviously you had your Nino, your Asamoah, Dramovic I believe he's called, and then you had your three midfielders, blah blah blah. But in my opinion, from my experience of playing with the Korean leagues, I found that this formation with these players, and I will explain why I've gotten these, as you might think because of the defence and goalkeeper, it's not all that, but I will explain my choices. But this is sort of my take on it. So we'll start upwards and we'll work our way down to goalkeeper. We'll start with Everton. The reason Everton is there is obviously because he has amazing pace, but I believe that's only acceleration. I believe his actual sprint speed is about 82, 83. And, you know, he's a great skiller, he's great at dribbling, very close to his feet when he runs, and he's actually unbelievable in the air. Like, he was going against people like, I don't remember the Reading centre-back, but he would always win in the air, he'd always score, and that's just saying something, because he's not exactly a tall guy. We'll move on to Asamoah, the Ghanaian. Obviously he's there for one reason only, his pace. But I've also found that his crossing is just pinpoint accurate. He will always find a Nino or Everton in the box. As it's weird, but these three, it seems to be as if a Nino is actually the striker, because he's always the one in the middle. And obviously, you know, there's nothing else great about Asamoah. His shooting isn't exactly great for a winger, but his passing and his pace is unbelievable. We'll move on to somebody that majority of people know, probably because of KSI, because I believe he did a beast video on them. But we're going to move on to a Nino. A Nino everybody should know of. I believe he was a striker in FIFA 12, but converted to a left winger in this one. There's not much to say about him, just look at his stats. His stats suggest he should be a gold player. I mean, if you look at him compared to most BPL left wingers like Scott Sinclair, his stats on his card are better than Scott Sinclair. You know, he's got the great pace, he's got the great dribbling, the great shot, the great pass, good in the air. In my opinion, his card lies, he is so much faster than 86 pace. His shot is so good. If I could compare his shot to anybody's, I would honestly compare him to Van Persie with his finishing. His finishing is just phenomenal. Right, we'll move on to our two central midfielders, and we'll start with we'll call him Per. Right, we've got Per here, who I believe was a transfer from the Saudi league, and I also believe he was originally a left midfielder. I'm not too sure on that, guys, but I'm sure he was. But the reason he's here is because obviously he's got the same with Leonardo. He's got the good all-round stats. He's got good pace, a good shot, a good passing, good dribbling. He's also got fairly decent defending stats, not amazing, and fairly decent heading stats. But the reason he's there is that he's a weird player. Like, he seems to always stay in the middle, and so he'll always pick out the passes, you know, for a Nino when a Nino's making a break, or Everton or Asamoah. And he just always seems to be in the right place at the right time. Now we're going to move on to Leonardo. Most people know who he is again, like a Nino, not much special, everybody knows about him. Similar to Per, you know, he's a good all-round midfielder. I found that, surprisingly, for 38 defending, his defending work rate, he actually does get back quite a bit, so it does help with the three at the back. Now I'll explain my left mid and right mid choice. As you can see, we've got Ho here, who I do believe has a team of the season, who with the 91 pace, and we also have Hun with the 90 pace. The reason that these two are here is because the key thing you have to remember with playing a three at the back formation, if your two central midfielders do not have high defending work rates, you're going to have to make up in some way. So I've always found that although these two don't have good defending work rates and good defending stats, the pace allows them to power through other players and to run back. So let's say if you're getting countered, switch to Ho or Hun and just bolt back and just pull them until, you know, until obviously they trip up or a tactical foul or whatever you want to call it. But the reason is obviously I found Ho is actually a very good midfielder, because it was between him and the other Everton. There's an Everton left mid as well, with the 4-star skills and whatnot. But the reason Jose is because of the pace, and it's exactly the same with Hun. I found Hun is actually a very awful player on the ball. His dribbling is terrible, his passing and his shot, but he's very fast and he's very useful for when you're being attacked. Now we're on to the centre backs, which is, I know, the unusual part for most of you. We'll start with Alessandro. The reason he is here is that, you know, obviously he's a 65 non-rare. He has some pretty ugly stats, especially that defending. That defending is awful. But the reason he's here is that he is unbelievably quick guy. He's really good in the air, like, and I've always found that he's never been caught out. Like, he's even muscle players like Hulk off the ball. Like, I've played against these hybrid Brazilians with the silver gold Brazil teams, and he's muscled most players off the ball, and there's not much else to say about him. He'll cost you about 500, 600 coins, and he's worth every cent of it. We'll go to Ho. As you can see, there's a couple of Ho's in this team. You can take that any way you want. Anyway, moving on to him, he's got the great pace for a centre back. I believe he is the quickest central defender in the K-League. I'm not too sure, but I'm sure he is. And he's also actually quite tall for a Korean. Like, I know it's quite a stereotypical thing to say, but most Koreans are short and they're not amazingly tall, but he is actually quite tall for a Korean. It quite surprised me. But he is a very good player, you know. I think he costs a couple of K, but it's because he is a popular centre-back. Moving on to Wan. I believe, I'm not too sure, I swear he has an inform, guys. But obviously if you have the coins, buy him if you want. It's up to you, really. But again, it's similar to Alessandro. He doesn't look good. Let's be honest. If it was not for his pace, people would probably discard him. But I swear to God, people, his heading and defending stats lie. He is so good in the air, so strong. And honestly, I think these three as a combination are just fantastic. I would not switch them for any of them in the world. They're just fantastic. Now moving on to the goalkeeper, this would have shocked most of you because I don't remember who he is, but I know there's a silver rare 74 goalkeeper. The reason Kwang's here is that because I remember when I was first building one, I built this entire team, but I had no coins for that goalkeeper, so I was looking through the market. I was trying to find a decent goalkeeper, and I found him for 200 by now, and I was like, you know what, he doesn't look bad, he has a good overall stats, you know, he's got good speed, yeah, we'll buy him. Oh my god, people, he is a god, honestly, right? If you have not played with Kwang, buy him. He is, seriously, he's a couple of hundred coins, and he is just so solid. He's such a strong presence in goal. Like, seriously guys, just please try him. Anyway guys, this is it for my first video. The prices for this team, if you're on the PlayStation 3, it'll cost around the 9k mark. If you're on the Xbox, around the 17k mark. And if you're on the PC, it'll cost you around about 13,000 coins. So that was me, I'm Lee, and hope you all enjoyed my first video. If you have any requests for any squads you want to build, any type of hybrids, just name what nations, name what type of hybrid you want, and I'll make it, and I suppose you get a little shout out, won't you? Right. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, drop it a like, please drop me a subscription. Peace.